Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giri Varadhari Jaya Giri Varadhari. Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Giri Varadhari Jaya Giri Varadhari. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Yashodanandanam Braja Janaranjanaya Yashodanandanam Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandanam Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Haribo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Dev ki Jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Gauranga. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, we are reading from Śrimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 28. Kapila's instructions on devotional service, text 32. Hasam harer avanata kila loka tivra. Hasam harer avanata kila loka tivra. Shoka shrusagara vishoshanam atyudaram. Shoka shrusagara vishoshanam atyudaram. Samohanaya rachitam nija maya sya. Samohanaya rachitam nija mayayasya Bhrumandalam munikrite makaradvajasya. Bhrumandalam munikrite makaradvajasya. Asam harer avanata kila lokativra. Shoka shrusagara vishoshanam atyudaram. Samohanaya rachitam nijamaya yasya. Bhrumandalam munikrite makaradvajasya. Samohanaya rachitam Nijamaya Yasya Bhrumandalam Munikrite Makaradvajasya Asamharer Avananti Kila Lokatibra Shoka Shusagara Vishoshanam Tyudaram Samhanaya Rachitam Sya Lokatibra Shoka Shusagara Vishoshanam Atyudaram Samohanaya Rachitam Nijamaya Yasya Bhrumandalam Munikrite Makaradvajasya. Matajis? Hasam Harer Avanati Kalalokatibra Shoka Shusagara Vishoshanam Atyudaram Samohanaya Rachitam Nijamaya Yasya Bhrumandalam Munikrite Makaradvajasya Hasam Harer Avanata Kilalokatibra Soka Shushagara Vishoshanam Atyudaram Samohanaya Rachitam Nijamaya Yasya Bhrumandalam Munikrite Makaradvajasya. Hasam, the smile. Hare, of Lord Shri Hari. Avanata, about. Akila, all. Loka, for persons. Tivra Shoka, caused by intense grief. Ashrusagara, the ocean of tears. Vishoshanam, drying up. Atyudaram, most benevolent. Sammohanaya, for charming. Rachitam, manifested. Nijamayaya, by his internal potency. Asya, his. Bhrumandalam, arched eyebrows. Munikrite, for the good of the sages. Makara Dvajasya, of the sex god. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A yogi should similarly meditate on the most benevolent smile of Lord Sri Hari, a smile which, for all those who bow to him, dries away the ocean of tears caused by intense grief. The yogi should also meditate on the Lord's arched eyebrows, which are manifested by his internal potency in order to charm the sex god for the good of the sages. Purport. The entire universe is full of miseries, and therefore the inhabitants of this material universe are always shedding tears out of intense grief. There is a great ocean of water made from such tears. But for one who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ocean of tears is at once dried up. One need only see the charming smile of the Supreme Lord. In other words, the bereavement of material existence immediately subsides when one sees the charming smile of the Lord. It is stated in this verse that the charming eyebrows of the Lord are so fascinating that they cause one to forget the charms of sense attraction. The conditioned souls are shackled to material existence because they are captivated by the charms of sense gratification, especially sex life. The sex god is called Makaradvaja. The charming brows of the Supreme Personality of Godhead protect the sages and devotees from being charmed by material lust and sex attraction. Yamunacharya, great Acharya, said that ever since he had seen the charming pastimes of the Lord, the charms of sex life had become abominable for him, and the mere thought of sex enjoyment would cause him to spit and turn his face. Thus, if anyone wants to be aloof from sex attraction, he must see the charming smile and fascinating eyebrows of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hasam harer avanata kilalokativra sokashosagara vishoshanam atyudaram samohanaya rachitam nijamaya yasya brumandalam munikrite makaradvajasya. A yogi should similarly meditate on the most benevolent smile of Lord Sri Hari, a smile which, for all those who bow to him, dries away the ocean of tears caused by intense grief. The yogi should also meditate on the Lord's arched eyebrows, which are manifested by his internal potency, in order to charm the sex god for the good of the sages. Mukam karoti vachalam padgum langate grim kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam. Nisimhamasi vachase Lakshmi Sacha Vakshasi Yasaste Hridiyasam Nisimham Maham Bhaje. Hare Krishna. This section, Kapila Dev, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, describes devotional service, how to perform bhakti. So this is very remarkable. God himself describes how he can be pleased. Of course, this is just one of the instances, many instances in Bhāgavatam where Krishna does this, and not only in Bhāgavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita also, other books. Lord Krishna also, in 11th canto, he also describes the process of bhakti. Different incarnations describe bhakti yoga. And then we have Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Krishna, he hides. He's Chan avatar, he's the hidden avatar, so he doesn't reveal that he's God. But he demonstrates how to perform bhakti. So it's even more interesting. Here, Kapila Dev, he will not show, he will not demonstrate, but Lord Chaitanya will do that. And then Kapila Dev, Haribo, Kapila Dev explains in the very beginning of this chapter that we have one most important instrument for bhakti, and this is our mind. Just like every instrument, if we want to do anything useful with this instrument, it has to be in good shape. So in the same way, the mind has to be in a good shape. Let's say you are riding a horse, and in this scenario, the horse is your instrument. Of course, we don't want to upset any animal right activist. The horse is a person; he's a living entity. But in this example, we are giving the horse as an instrument. So the horse is an instrument, and if you want to go from A to B, then the horse has to be peaceful enough so that listen to your commands and obey. Otherwise, you're in trouble. And the same with the mind. The mind is an instrument by which we can focus our consciousness on the Lord, which is the goal of life. And the mind has to be peaceful, has to be subdued, has to be controlled. And Kapila Dev describes how this can happen practically. And there are first some steps that he explains. First of all, the material mind is always disturbed. There are different I forgot the Sanskrit term. Phases. Anyway, different changes of the mind, and almost all of them are harmful for spiritual advancement. So the mind has to be peaceful, otherwise it cannot focus on anything. Even materially speaking, if you want to do something, let's say you're reading a book, but if the mind is too disturbed, then you won't be able to read. So the first thing, if you want to perform bhakti, the mind has to be bridled. And there are different ways. Kapila Dev describes, first of all, the mind is disturbed because we have very behavior patterns, and this has to be they have to be rejected. For example, he explains that one should not steal, one should not perform illicit sex, all these things that we also follow. Why? Because these are the channels through which in the mind we invite all these all these anxieties, disturbances. Therefore, when the devotees become devotees and start following the four regulative principles, immediately we feel liberated by all these disturbances, by all these anxieties, because we stop the flow of this negative energy in our brain, in our mind, not in the brain. Well, maybe in the brain also. And then the devotees feel relief. So this is the first thing. You regulate your activities. For example, if you do illicit sex, here we're talking about, Krishna is talking about the sex god. Then what happens? Well, first of all, if you know that this is illicit activity, then you definitely afterwards you feel remorseful, right? And this is an anxiety. You feel shame, guilt. You'll be afraid what will happen now. God will punish me, etc. But even if you don't know, then if you think it's completely fine, and still because it is not fine, it is against the rules of Krishna, and anxiety in the mind, because this is the result of breaking the rules. You have to suffer, and the mind will be disturbed. Maybe you won't be able to understand why, but there will be suffering in the mind. And then not only that, but there will be other things. Somebody might be upset that you broke the regulative principles with somebody that, let's say, he's his spouse or whatever. So he may come and punish you, or she, or you can get some disease, etc. So there will be anxiety in the mind. So if you just stop this, if you don't do this, then you naturally will be freed from this anxiety, and the mind will be peaceful, so that you can focus on more important things, or stealing, same thing, or overeating. So all these things they help to calm down the mind, and then the mind can be concentrated, focused. Another thing that helps, Kapila explains, is pranayama. Therefore, some of the acharyas, they also recommend pranayama before one chants his Gayatri mantras in the morning or in the afternoon or in the evening at noon. It's another mechanical pattern that calms down the mind. And since the mind is originates from the mode of goodness, it can be happy and peaceful only when it's regulated. When the mind is not regulated, then it becomes very disturbed, very unhappy. Just like the cows. Cows are also... cows are... the living entity inside is in the mode of ignorance, but the body is in the mode of goodness. So the cows are also like this. They are happy when they are regulated. And Kapila describes these different methods how to pacify the mind, because also in Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, Ashantasya kutasukam. If we are not peaceful, then we cannot be happy. So this is the first step towards happiness, to become peaceful. And then, once the mind is relatively peaceful, then it can focus. And then these impersonal yogis, they like to focus, to try to concentrate on some material objects. They just use this as a exercise tools. The flame of a candle or something else, they stare at the tip of the nose, etc. But Kapila, he recommends that once the mind is peaceful, then do something useful with the mind. Focus the mind on the form of the Lord. And by doing this, gradually, we will be enamored, will be overwhelmed by the beauty of the Lord. We will experience something extra, something spiritual emotions, and then we will forget about material hankerings. That's basically the procedure. Explains param drishtva nivartate rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate niraharasya dehinaha. If we try to stop the senses from the sense objects, then the mind becomes very disturbed mechanically. And then even if we succeed, let's say we are fasting, because we heard that it's good for our health to fast without any spiritual purpose, then we might be able to succeed in this endeavor, but we'll be very agitated all the way through. And then the next day, or the whatever period ends of the fast, then some people they cannot help themselves, and they start eating very voraciously just after fasting, and it's very bad for the body. So Krishna explains that we have to we have to acquire a higher spiritual taste, and then naturally we will cease with our material engagements. So this is very important for us, because we have certain amount of time before the next wave of Maya will come. These waves are coming, all these, we call them the ordeals of life, or tests, Krishna is putting different tests. Maya is testing us constantly. So we have, we reach certain level of bhakti, and then it's sometimes like a plateau, and then we feel a little bit relaxed. Okay, now I'm safe, I'm following the rules, I'm chanting 16 rounds, I'm in the association of the devotees, everything is nice. But if we feel too relaxed and too complacent, then we will miss the opportunity to advance to the next level. Now is the time that, okay, you're peaceful enough, we have very nice sangha, we have nice devotional service. Now it's time to struggle, to work hard so that you attain the next level. Because the next level is more safe than the when the wave of Maya comes, then it won't catch you there. Just like the different levels of this universe also, and then we are in the middle, Bhumandala, but then above us are the higher planets, and then is Svargaloka, Bhurbhuvasva. Svargaloka is the planet of Indra, Indraloka, and then above Indraloka there are different higher, even higher planets where the great sages live, and Maharloka, these are the Prajapatis, and then Tapoloka. Tapoloka are the worlds of the brahmacharis, the sannyasis. And then above this is Satyaloka. And it is described that when the partial devastation comes, everything becomes submerged in water, but not exactly. Up to the heavenly planets, everything is destroyed, but then the higher planets, they are spared, and the living entities from Maharloka, although Maharloka is not destroyed, they have to go to Tapoloka to migrate, because although it's not destroyed, the heat becomes too intense. So this is analogy I'm trying to explain. In the same way, we have to go up in bhakti also. Very actively, we have to really try to get this higher taste. Otherwise, we are doomed. Because Maya is not a joke. She will not fight according to our rules. She's a nefarious fighter, just like Duryodhana. One of the meaning of this word is the one who fights not following the rules. There is no rules of combat. She will reach right through our armor that we thought that we are very well protected by, and she will just she will grab us and she will throw us on the floor. So, Haribo. Is okay? Okay. I thought you're coming because I'm not speaking on the mic or something. So my point is, we have to use our time really wisely. Shouldn't waste time. We should really strive to attain this taste as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Because until we attain this higher taste, then we are vulnerable. Of course, Krishna will always protect us. We should not also become too anxious. Krishna is there to protect us. And Srila Prabhupada explains, if we chant the holy name very with a great determination and focus, then Maya won't be able to touch us. Okay, so then Kapila describes how the devotee should meditate on different attributes and different bodily features of the Lord. And then the mind, the material mind, the conditioned material mind will basically be infused with spiritual energy. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami describes how on the level of bhava, what happens is that Krishna very mercifully, he infuses the soul with his spiritual energy. And especially with two features of this Chit Shakti, the spiritual potency, Hladini, that means the pleasure potency, and Chit, the knowledge potency. So the devotee becomes fully knowledgeable about the Lord, about devotional service, and blissful. And I was thinking that our Srila Prabhupada, his title is Bhaktivedanta, and this imbibes exactly these two features of the spiritual potency. Bhakti is the Hladini, and Vedanta is the knowledge, so blissful, bliss and knowledge. And this material mind that we have, first of all, we call this conditioned mind or material. We conditioned souls, and what is the meaning of this conditioning? It is like you take something that is actually of value, that can actually help you and satisfy you, and then you substitute with something else that doesn't have this property. This other thing cannot do the job properly. So that's what Maya did to us. We, because of our envious nature, we are given a substitute of love, of affection, of happiness in this material world, and we're happy with it. Do you know about this Russian guy, Pavlov? He was a psychologist, psychiatrist, I think, scholar, who he's famous with this experiment he did with the Pavlov's dogs. He was giving them food and ringing a bell and flashing light, and he was doing this every day. And then gradually he stopped giving them food, but he would just flash the light and ring the bell, and still the dogs were reacting as if the food is there. The saliva is coming out their mouth, and they are very happy, but there was no food. So that's what Maya does to us. There is no actually real satisfaction in this material world, but Maya just rings the bell, flashes the lights, and there is happiness. There is no happiness. And we know so many things about the mind. We write in, and we have our own realizations. But this conditioned mind, this material mind, is basically our conditioned taste, our material taste, the particular way we want to enjoy a certain combination of the three modes of material nature. That's what the material mind is. It is our material attraction. So when, by the mercy of the Lord, this material attraction becomes spiritual, then we are on a safe ground. Just like Mahaprabhu's mind. Mahaprabhu, when he would hear a song from the temple, he would immediately run and think about Krishna, or he would confuse he would think that this is Govardhan, but this was just some sands on the bank of the ocean in Puri. So material mind is materially attracted, spiritual mind is spiritually attracted. So we want our mind to reclaim our original spiritual quality. And this is done by following the process of bhakti. So here, the yogi should meditate on the smile of the most benevolent smile of Lord Shri, a smile which, for all those who bow to him, dries away the ocean of tears caused by intense grief. So by Krishna's mercy, we will be saved by suffering. So what is the first, if you remember, what is the first pastime described in Śrimad Bhāgavatam? The very first pastime. Okay, well, this is also pastime, but okay, this is more like the story tale. Yes, Ashvatam. Even before that, yes, it's connected to Ashvatam. It is when Ashvatam releases the Brahmastra, and then Uttara, the mother of the Parikshit Maharaj, she is in a helpless, completely surrendered, helpless condition. She surrenders to Krishna and begs for protection. That's what happens. And then Krishna protects her. So one devotee was saying, Burijan Prabhu was saying that this is the first pastime in Bhagavatam, because this is the first thing that we have to be convinced. Because if we are gonna leave the shelter of the material, so-called, it's a false shelter of material potency, and take the shelter of Krishna, we need to be convinced that Krishna will protect us. Because we are leaving the house, we're going to a different house. So if we're not sure that in this new house we'll be well taken care of, we won't wholeheartedly apply ourselves in the process And therefore, some devotees, they actually never leave the shelter of the material potency. Not really. They offer lip service, but when they have to take a decision, they resort to material means. So this is the very important. Therefore, it's in the very beginning of Bhagavatam. Krishna will protect us, and then the yogi should also meditate on the Lord's arched eyebrows, which are manifested by his internal potency. So this is, the Madha Mohan, Govinda Dev, and Gopinath. These are the three deities which represent the three main topics of the Vedas. And they are Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Sambandha means, yes, a relationship. As we are, by Sambandha Gyan, we are establishing our relationship with the Lord. And by Abhideya, we perform our duty in connection with this relationship. And then we attain the goal. So this is manifested by the internal potency of the Lord. This internal potency, the eyebrows of the Lord, will save us, will attract us. In one of the Gayatri mantras, it is described how it is like an arrow, nectarian arrow that pierces the heart. And then, just like Cupid pierces the heart with his 5 arrows, and they correspond to the 5 sense objects. In the same way, Krishna will, if we are sincere, he will attract us in such a forceful way that we'll forget about Maya in illusion. And here, Srila Prabhupada speaks about lust. The conditioned souls are shackled to material existence because they are captivated by the charms of sense gratification, especially sex life. So this lust is described in Bhagavad Gita as the main, our real and only enemy. We have no other enemies besides this one. And lust is such a sinful and terrible foe that it can be destroyed only by force. Sometimes the Vedas, the Dharma Shastras, they describe that there are different ways how to deal with the enemy. First, you try with sweet words. Let us be friends. If this doesn't work, then you try to offer basically try to bribe him, offer him money. Okay, stop this disturbing activities, I'll give you such amount of money. And if this doesn't work, then the next thing is beda. Try to create disturbance and dissension in the enemy's camp by your people, by your spies. And if this doesn't work, then at the end is argumentum ad baculum, as Prabhupada says, then force. The enemy has to be eliminated. And the Acharyas explain, you might as well not bother with the first 3 when dealing with lust. Nothing will work. Don't try to make friends with lust. Conciliation won't work. Bribing won't work. Only thing that will work is elimination. It has to be destroyed by Krishna, of course. We cannot destroy lust. It's such a sinful and ugly thing that, and it's also because it poses as our friend. This whole modern civilization is based on the premise that lust is our friend. If you're not lusty, then you basically cannot take part wholeheartedly in all this mass consumative trans society because it is based on consuming, and consuming is based on lust. You have to be lusty. Therefore, people consume enough, they are looked down upon. You don't play your part. And also, even in material sense, if somebody is very lusty, let's say you invite somebody at your home, and he's so lusty that he's, or she, looking around and you see he's burning with envy. He wants to take possession of your place or your wife or your daughter or whatever. So if we have in our heart this lust, then basically we are banned from civil association. No gentleman or lady, no civilized person will ever invite us in his house, because and lust is visible quite often by external behavior. So we have to be clear, until we get rid of this, by Krishna's mercy, of course, we will not have good association. Therefore, you see, when sometimes people come to the temple, they stay, but then when they start to, amongst the devotees, in the best possible sangha, but then when they start displaying lusty behavior, then devotees get rid of them. So they're bereft of this association. Okay, many things we can say, but do you want to say something? Yes.
Appreciating like your point on lust, that you can't destroy lust by force, you can't just do it by violence.
Yes.
I was reading in the Scheduled Incarnations in chapter 2 of Bhāgavatam, it describes Lord Shiva. He gets agitated by lust, and his response is that this heavenly girl comes, and he just incinerates the lust with his wrath. He's so angry, he just incinerates it.
Mm.
But the Bhagavatam explains that then he has too much wrath and he can't get rid of the wrath.
Mm-hmm.
So he uses wrath to destroy lust. He can't get rid of the wrath. He's too wrathful. And it gives the example that when Bhrigu Muni comes and agitates Brahma and Shiva and Vishnu, Shiva becomes also agitated. Actually, he becomes very angry and he can't control his anger.
Yeah.
Whereas Krishna controls anger. He's able to tolerate the situation because of his humility.
Yeah.
Bhrigu now dusted her foot. I'm so happy that you kicked me. So because of his humility, he's able to overcome lust and anger. So only through humility we can overcome lust and anger.
Nice. Nice. Good point. Yes. Thank you. Also, Shiva is famous how he burned to ashes Cupid. Therefore, Cupid is known as what was the name anyway? The one without gross body, because Shiva burned him with his wrath. Yeah, in Gita also, Mahashano Vidya Enaiha Vairinam Kama Esha Krodha Esha Rajaguna Samudbhava. Yes. Lust born, and when the lust is anger comes. So this is the consequence. But also, if you know, there is this story of Markandeya. When Markandeya was tempted by these heavenly girls, they could not pull him down from his position, and also he didn't become angry. Because when Indra sends some of these apsaras to disturb one of the sages, they are afraid to go, because they know the history. Even if I'm successful, these sages are very powerful, and then in their anger they can kill me. So they are not very eager to go. But when Markandeya Muni, he passed the test, and he was not even angry. Everybody was astonished, because they haven't seen. Even Shiva became angry. So another story is with Narayana Rishi. Same thing happened. And you know the story. Narayana Rishi were performing austerities, and then Indra got disturbed, he sent all these girls from the heavenly planets. And then, because Narayana Rishi are the Lord, these are Krishna and Arjuna, they manifested from their own, from his Narayana, from his own body, manifested so many beautiful girls that all these heavenly apsaras, they became ashamed. They felt like they're very ugly because these were spiritual beauties, not material. So in this, and yeah. Anyway, thank you. That was very nice. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, bro. So should I repeat? Yes, Mataji. Should I repeat? Yes, because people, yeah. Okay, in the 8th canto and 9th canto, it is described that one should meditate on these eyebrows of the Lord, because in this way he will be freed from lust, basically. Okay, just to summarize. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, we need the mic, yeah. Okay, start all over again.
Hare Krishna. I was thinking that on the point that Ryan made about how the only way that we can overcome lust and wrath is through humility, is that, well, I was just thinking like there's the pastime of Lord Brahma whenever he is attracted to his daughter and he falls down and it's like a really thing. But in that same, there's Haridas Thakur, who's an incarnation of Lord Brahma, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whenever he's approached by the prostitute who is Maya Devi herself, and she has a mission to, capture Haridas Thakur, and he's taking shelter of Lord Hari. He's taken shelter of the holy name, and he's so undisturbed that even she becomes a devotee. So I was just thinking that's maybe a good example of humility overcoming that desire.
Yeah, nice. Thank you. There is in Bangladesh, you have there is a temple when this happened, and there is a deity of this girl, Lakshahara. She became great devotee. You can see the deity is there. She's chanting. Okay. Granthara Śrimad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to Sama devotees. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupada. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Okay.